looking for a job really is a full-time job, especially if you're looking for a job where you're going to have a future and have some growth. Maybe just going and blindly applying online on the internet really isn't going to cut it. You really need to get in front of a prospective employer, and maybe a good way to do that is at a job fair. And we have some people here going to tell us all about a job fair and maybe some do's and don'ts in terms of looking for a job, which is a big job. We have on the inside, we have Stephen Carr. He's the Assistant Director of Business Services with Career Source Polk. Stephen,
hello.
Great to have you
Hello.
here.
Thank you, thank you.
And I like that bow tie, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
We also have Angela Hunter. She's a career specialist also with Career Source Polk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's great to have you here as well.
Thank you for having me.
And Terry Green. Terry is with business development with Rita Staffing, so he's involved with the jobs. Terry, it's great to have you here as well.
Thank you for having me.
Getting in front of an employer really is your best bet. If you can see them and they can see you, I would imagine. So probably that's got to be one of the greatest benefits of a job fair, among many. Mm-hmm. What are some of the other things why a job fair would be so important?
Job fair is important because as Career Source Polk partner with the local employers, they are here and they are in need of a vibrant workforce. So we do the introduction. People like Terry, his organization, they have the available positions. Angela is involved with developing the individuals to get them prepared, whether it's resume preparation, interviews, things of that nature.
Now let's mention real quickly, and we'll mention it again, when this job fair is going to be held and where it's going to be.
Absolutely. It's October the 23rd from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the Polk State College Gymnasium in Winter Haven.
And I guess at 9 o'clock you're doing something nice for veterans. They get a little early start. How's that work?
Absolutely. Veterans are able to enter 1 hour before the event start. Just veterans, they get to have their opportunity to speak one-on-one with the employers before the general public arrive.
Okay. Now, do people need to register or let you know they're coming, or how does that work?
Absolutely. Please either contact our number, which is 863-508-1100, or pre-register at careersourcepolk.com.
Angela, I was talking about, how important it is to get in front of a prospective employer.
Yes, sir.
So they can see you, you can see them, and because on paper sometimes it all begins to look alike.
Absolutely.
But not just seeing you there, I'm sure there's a lot more to just showing up. Do you have some good tips there for people that might be going to this job fair?
Absolutely. In fact, on September the 11th, we actually had an event, P5X, to help our job seekers prepare. And it's the first time in the county that I know, and I'm a native, to see that type of preparation. And they were in front of people that didn't know if they were actually from the agencies, businesses, or from our staff. And we actually one-on-one went over the resumes, practice interviewing, mock interviewing, and things of that sort. So we're really excited about this next event that's coming up on the 23rd, because we want to see those tools used and put in place to see these job seekers be connected to the employers in the proper way. That's what we do on a daily basis. We see people, we try to motivate them, try to encourage them, hook them up with job readiness classes that will help them to better themselves, to give them some inside tips, how to word your resume, things to do, not to do, etc. So it helps them to build the motivation, the encouragement, the self-esteem they need to go into these interviews face forward.
You mentioned something there, how they carry themselves. I know when we go to an interview, you try to carry yourself in a positive way and all this. But I imagine there are maybe some subtle things that you can do that probably kind of don't reflect that, maybe the way you're standing, or tell us about some of that, Angela.
Absolutely. Make sure that they're open, that they don't close their arms to the conversation, not too forward, but yet respond in a proper manner. Don't sit down and say, my name's Angela Hunter and I'm a former offender, because you're definitely going to be closed off there. So we try to teach people how to negotiate before the negotiation.
Exactly.
Steve and I, we are forward because we are sales type people. That's what we do. So that's not going to work for everybody. But we try to show them mainstream what's going to work. Smile gently, not a big cheesy smile, but a nice smile. Dress accordingly to whatever job you're going to be looking at.
Well, let's talk about that.
Sure.
Because, I mean, everyone thinks I need to wear a three-piece suit. Maybe that's the case, maybe it's not. Is it about the kind of job you're going for?
In my perspective, I say yes, it does matter. I would not send a gentleman in to get a custodian job in a three-piece suit necessarily.
Absolutely.
Long sleeve shirt, tie, dress slacks appropriate. No holes in the pants, and no pants on the ground. Just to be perfectly honest. A young lady, the same, if she's going to a clerical position, dress as if you're going to work, not as if you're going to the grocery store,
exactly.
etc. So it is really job specific. I do believe you can overdress, but you certainly can underdress. And I'm more worried about underdressing than overdressing.
Are you seeing a lot of that sometimes with, I imagine some of the younger people, maybe not.
Not necessarily.
Some of the, even
yes.
some of the older people just underdressing. That's amazing.
And also just something very, very simple. Shaking the person's hand that you're talking to. You know, if it's a limp or if you don't, you know, gesture to shake your hand. That's the beginning to any conversation. So
right.
if you're walking up to an employer at a job fair and you just start talking, you know, what happened to shaking their hand, introducing yourself properly? Believe me, Terry will tell you, employers pay close attention to little small things like that.
Well, let me ask you about that from the employer's perspective, because you're the one looking at these future, perhaps, potential employees. Mm-hmm. Does that first impression make a big difference?
Yeah, first impressions I think are everything. A lot of people come in and with the notion that what they have on their resume is going to speak for itself, but that's often not the case. When people are at the job fairs, our first impressions are extremely important to us because that's how we're going to remember you. Also, last impressions. I was at a job fair not long ago, had a candidate come up, had a great first impression. Before I even left the event, he'd already sent me an email to my phone, followed up with me and said, hey, I'm really serious about this. And I thought the last impression was extremely important as well. Mm-hmm. So as much as we focus on the first impression, I think it's a great way to kind of market yourself and say, I'm really serious about this and I'm excited. And plus, as from an employer standpoint, we can tell whether or not you're dressed intentionally about the job. Mm-hmm. So yeah, in our industry, we have kind of the best of both worlds, all the way from entry level up to executive level placement, light industrial, skilled labor, and clerical help. And some people that come in looking for a light industrial type of job may not necessarily qualify the way that they carry themselves in a clerical environment, but the way that they're dressed intentionally for the light industrial type of job speaks volumes about what they really want to do.
You know, sometimes you feel like you have to impress at all times, but I imagine, and you are, but is it more about trying to be yourself and look real? Because I imagine if you're fake, trying to impress, like you know all this and can do all this, does that kind of come across perhaps, Angela?
To me it does. I deal with groups of people as well as individuals, and we try to counsel them and help them depending on what their needs are. So yes, you can come across very strong, very open and opinionated versus very quiet and withdrawn. Happy medium is what we're really looking for, an opportunity to show yourself, showcase yourself, but not just jump over the cliff,
right.
if you will.
Steve, what would you tell someone who says, you know, I've been looking for a job for a while, I can't find anything out there, you know, I'm not going to show up at this job fair because I know there's no jobs out there. I mean, you're involved in the job business, but what would you tell that person about that when they have that attitude?
Good question. What I would say to an individual who is in transition, if you will, find out what is the demand occupation. And from the time that you're unemployed until you land the next job, prepare for that job. You know, there are plenty of jobs out there. What is needed is a skilled person to do the work. So if you're unemployed, look at going to get a certification that will make you more qualified and utilizing some of your transferable skills from your previous position into what's out there now. Whether it's a CNC machine operator or industrial mechanic, you know, those are some type of industries that you can go and get some training, you know, at the local college that's short term that line you up to be in a very competitive and a very vibrant job market. We're in an industrial hub, whether it's manufacturing or logistics. Those are skills that you can acquire and also utilize from a transitional standpoint from other positions you've had. So it's not just sitting there looking for the next job identical to what I left. Let's see what the market is needing and make myself or the job seeker relevant to what's going on out, you know, in the market today. And I'll say that to anybody that's looking for a job.
Steven says there's jobs out there. Terry, you would imagine agree with that.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Even in Polk County especially, The job market is absolutely vibrant. I really think that there's a lot of opportunities out there. Companies are coming in and they're being courted in from economic development councils and a lot of these places. As you know, there's, of course, Lakeland is extremely Lakeland has a lot of types of jobs out there that fit a lot of different type of candidates. So we have clerical jobs, we have light industrial jobs, we've got a lot of them, and we've got a lot of great relationships with clients that we've had long relationships with. And we hope to definitely make that known to the job seeker.
You know, sometimes, like we were saying, people get frustrated because they feel like they can't get a job. But as you're saying, their jobs are out there. Maybe you just have to kind of retrain yourself a little bit with the skills you already have to be able to do what the demands of perhaps a new job that's still out there.
Yes. And come visit us, because you'll meet someone like Angela who's in tune to what is in the marketplace. We can point you in the right career path.
Correct.
You know, to line you up for the next opportunity. You know, opportunity don't necessarily come to you. You have to prepare for it.
Right, right. It's got to be exciting, Angela, when you've worked with someone, perhaps one-on-one, that maybe was struggling and maybe had almost given up, and you get them back on track and they get a job.
It actually happened this morning.
Yeah.
Really?
A lady came in trying to apply for unemployment benefits, was having some issues, and it actually took 3 of us to get it where it needed to go. She walked out actually feeling like she had accomplished something. That to us is big. Now when we hear that bell ring because somebody got a job, we're all excited. I get chills every single time, because in 2012 I was unemployed.
Yeah.
So when they say I can't, I look at them and say, yes, you can. You have to be open-minded. And I came out of an industry, pharmaceutical, so I'm doing nothing compared to that. Open-mindedness is the key to going to the next place.
Absolutely.
And not expect that you have to make a certain wage. Be open-minded as that too, because the labor market is not what it was then.
Right. Well, the Career Source Polk Job Fair is coming up on Thursday, October 23rd. And real quickly, if someone's out there, he's ready, he's going to go. Any last tip you'd want to give them to be prepared for that day?
Leave your house with the anticipation of meeting someone that is key to your next opportunity. You know, upbeat attitude, professionally dressed, resumes, and just, you know, operate in a dimension that, hey, someone in Polk County is going to lead me to my next job. The employers there, every single employer so far, you know, our goal is to have over 50 employers. Every single employer that attend this job fair has an active job in employflorida.com. So it's not a job fair where someone is there, you know, getting resumes. They real jobs, and they're looking for real talent to fill the current positions they have.
And you never know. The person you meet at the job fair may not be the one that hires you, but he may know someone
Absolutely.
that needs someone. So, like you said, those first impressions could be lasting impressions. Well, I appreciate you all being here. I hope the job fair goes very well. Stephen and Angela with Career Source Polk doing a great job working with people. And Terry, again, telling us, yes, the jobs are out there. You just need to put your best foot forward. And you can do that at the Career Source Polk Job Fair. It's coming up on Thursday, October 23rd. At 9 o'clock, the veterans get the first shot in. Then from 10 to 1, everyone else gets a chance. It's going to be held at 999 Avenue H, Northeast in Winter Haven. That's the Polk State College Gymnasium. And if you want information, you can go to their website, careersourcepolk.com, or you can give their office a phone call at 863-508-1100.